If you can send a voice note to your 29-year-old self, what would it be?
This episode, we're going to take it back. We're going to talk about how nostalgia is a lie.
People say they love you, but that love is very conditional, right? And then the people that come with those people are very conditional in your life too. I grew up here in New York, didn't have everything, but we had enough. And I just think that it always stuck with me to be like, I don't want to go back to that anymore, where I'm just surviving. I don't think I'd be here recording this podcast with you. I maybe would have been somewhere completely different, maybe still back in New York. I'm not saying those alternatives would have been a bad thing, but it definitely would have been something that I would not have experienced what I've experienced, going to London, staying in the UAE, surviving the pandemic in Texas, like, you know, eventually meeting you to do this podcast. I don't even want to imagine an alternate universe because it's just unimaginable for me.
Let's flat out. Big teams, big boys, right?
My highs and lows, inherit growth, Mr. Deeds. Went from juggling 3 jobs to CEO like I'm Steve. Never been a rotten apple, call me John Appleseed. That's how I bleed. God can see, no other man can judge me. Call him Mike, Mr. International, getting cream. Single mother told me worth, and now I'm worth everything. Went from Wall Street to Abu Dhabi, straight rolling in a Maserati with women that feel exotic. My life too pristine.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a statement. Last
What's
flight
going
out,
on,
man.
man?
Flat out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Welcome back to the Last Fight Out podcast. We're your hosts, Mike and Jay. Hit that like button, hit that share button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and give us a follow across all of our social media channels. We can be found at Last Fight Out Podcast. My name is Jay. You can find me at JLubero26 in case this is your first time on the show, and you can follow my man Mike at
If Mike was here.
All right.
What's going on, y'all? So we got this episode, we're going to take it back. You know, we're going to talk about how nostalgia is a lie.
Oh, absolutely.
What I wish I knew in my 20s.
That's a long time for you. That's a long time for you.
You know, but I look like I'm still in my 20s. Shut up.
Yeah, shout out.
I have to rewind the time. I'm getting some grades, man. I've been stressed out.
Are you going to use Just for Men?
Nah,
You embrace
Khaled. Rewind. Oh no, Fat Joe. Rewind the time.
All right. So,
It's CBS.
if you couldn't send yourself a voice note
Mm-hmm.
right before, when did you move to the UAE? You were 30?
I was 30. Yeah.
So if you can send a voice note to your 29-year-old self, what would it be? What would it say? 30 seconds.
Oh,
15
man.
seconds.
I mean, I made so many mistakes. I don't know what I would say, but I would say be kind to yourself. Trust yourself, and then also make sure the people that you bring along are really with you.
Yeah.
And one more thing, for your family and friends, just love on them harder while you can.
Yeah. You don't know how much time you're going to have with them. With me, if I could send myself a voice note, I was just 30. I was just 29, 6 years ago. But if I could send myself a voice note, it would be stick to your guns. Like, continue to stick to your guns, because if I veered off my beliefs and things that I was like, you know, held strong to, I don't think I'd be here recording this podcast with you. I maybe would have been somewhere completely different, maybe still back in New York. I'm not saying those alternatives would have been a bad thing, but it definitely would have been something that I would not have experienced what I've experienced, going to London, staying in the UAE, surviving the pandemic in Texas, like, you know, eventually meeting you to do this podcast. I don't even want to imagine an alternate universe because it was just sort of like, it's just unimaginable for me, to be quite honest with you. And like, honestly, like, piggybacking off of what you said, make sure that the people that you have with you are unconditionally with you.
Yep.
Because what I've learned is that people say they love you,
Mm-hmm.
but that love is very conditional, right? And then the people that come with those people are very conditional in your life too. So I'm not saying don't pour into your loved ones, peoples, or anybody who's a conditional lover or somebody in your life who is temporary, but you have to really vet what type of love that person's giving you.
Yeah.
And also the people around them.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then if you look into your 20s, do you think you were more in survival mode or it was more about ambition?
Ooh. I think it was a little bit of both, right? I think, like, you know, for anybody who's listened to any of the various episodes, I grew up in very humble beginnings here in New York, didn't have everything, but we had enough. And I just think that it always stuck with me to be like, I don't want to go back to that anymore, where I'm just surviving. Like, everybody's like, people wear that as like a pride thing. Like, I survived, I got through it. I don't want to survive. I want to thrive through situations, right? And I think that surviving is what I was taught, and that's something that I just knew that I was comfortable in, but I was never comfortable in the thriving. Like, okay, I don't have to, like, I'm good now. Like, I'm not surviving. I live well, I travel a lot, I'm able to do this podcast comfortably, I save, I spend, whatever, right? So I'm not surviving anymore, I'm thriving. But I put myself in this survival mentality where the rent's due every day, and you gotta, like, always give back to the game, which is true. You should always maintain that hunger, but it needs to come from a, not just keeping your head down and like having to work consistently and, like, you know, through the wall, which you have to do a certain element of that, but rather, okay, let's take a step back and plot intentionally what our movements are going to be like so you don't burn out.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it was a little bit of both to be, you know, surviving or thriving. And so what about for you?
Yeah. For me, I definitely think it was a little bit of both. But what comes to my mind is I feel like how I grew up, and then seeing how things are now, or seeing, like, you know, my friends, what they're able to offer to their kids. I didn't have the luxury to make a mistake or even kind of explore too much, you know. It was more so, you know, there was sacrifices that were made and hard work that was made to put me in a position to win. And it's like, you better win. Like, don't mess this up, you know. So as far as, like, you know, I'm working this overtime. I made these sacrifices so you can go to college, so you can go to school. So, you know, don't mess around, don't dick around, don't fail in class, or don't try to explore and say, oh, okay, let me take a leap year and see what my heart desires.
It wasn't a lot of the leap year?
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
You couldn't do a leap year?
People talking about leap years. I'm like, what?
I took 2 years off between, I mean, you mean between high school and college? Not
Yeah,
between, okay,
high school and college.
Okay. Yeah, no, there was none of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Go right to college.
Go right into college and all that. And also pick a major that's gonna do well and things like that. So yeah, so it was a combination of both.
Yeah. What are some of the messages what are some of the conversations that you had that you wish you would have had in your 20s that you're like, damn, if I had those conversations more often, I think I would have been not that you're in a bad spot now, but you would have been in an even better spot now.
Conversations in my 20s. Let me see. We could always say, like, oh, you should invest in Bitcoin. Actually, that's the conversation. Like, yo, just because I remember
you did invest. I
did invest. I sold because, you know, that's one thing too. Like you know, I'm in technology, so I was more aware of Bitcoin and the blockchain technology before any of my peers were, any of the adults around me were, and I should have trusted myself. You know, where people were like, oh, why didn't you invest in that? That's a scam, or you should take your money out. And at the time, I probably invested $1,000 to $2,000 in it, which isn't much in hindsight.
Yeah, you must have had
to sell it at that point when, you know, I made a profit from it, but making a 40% profit on 2,000 is not much. It's not a life changer. Well, I could have just kept it in there, left it, and then today been like, oh, okay, I got some money to play with.
First of all, you were not
to play with.
First of all, maybe you'd be doing your own thing. You'd be an entrepreneur, right? Like, it's a lot different. But piggybacking off of that, I wish I would have had more conversations with money at the time, so I can know how wealthy people think about money. When you start like being around wealthy, like truly wealthy people, like truly, I'm talking about like FU money, wealthy, right? They see the world so much different. They see risk tolerance so much different. But those conversations are driven by your network of people that you had in your 20s, right? I don't know how many. I remember when I was in my 20s, people were trying to figure it out. Like, you know, how do we get to happy hour? How do we get to Fridays? Because they didn't really like what they were doing there Monday through Friday. They just kind of was like, I went to school. I have a job. Let me go ahead and just, get to Friday, and then restart everything through Monday. Well, the one thing I do vividly remember in my 20s, just even as a teenager, like I never want a life I need to take a break from. So I'm okay with a hard life. I'm okay with like working hard, but I never want to look forward to a Friday and be like, can't wait to take a. So I'm sacrificing 5 days of my well-being for 48 hours. That doesn't seem like it's fair math. You know what I mean? Like it just means like that means the majority of the week you're unhappy.
You want to love what you do.
I want to at least tolerate what I do. I like what I do. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't even have to be love. Love is a high threshold for me.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to be able to enjoy what I do. Yes, is it difficult? Yes, is it hard? And yes, you get paid for it, all that stuff, great. But like, I want to be able to be like, all right, what can I do with this to set me up for the next thing in my life? Right? It's kind of what we're doing with our careers now, right? Like sort of like we're leveraging what we do, which we are grateful for our employers for that, right? And we enjoy what we do to a certain extent. But this podcast is truly the labor of love. Like, you know what I mean? Like this is a labor of love, but this wouldn't be possible without the first thing.
Yeah.
Right. So, I wish I would have had more conversations about money. I think I would have had more conversations about like what the time value of time is, right? Like how time is so important, whether it's
more important than money.
It is more important than money, right? And that's the reason why wealthy people think about it as more important than money. How am I maximizing this time? Whether it's between your family, your personal health, your business, your personal hobbies. You only have a finite amount of time. No one has a crystal ball as to how much time you have left.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And what about how has your definition of success changed throughout the years from your 20s to now?
I think the core of it has stayed the same. And I think it's owning your own time. But it's not owning your own time so I can go sleep more. It's just owning my own time so I can focus on the things I actually want to do with my time. Right. And I think that in order for you to get to a place where you own your time, there has to be an off balance. There has to be that's what I've learned about success. You have to have a lot of periods of no balance, an imbalance, where you're grinding so much for something else that you don't necessarily want to do, because that's going to take you to a certain level. So you'll be able to monetize that and be able to repivot into something that is yours and something that you actually want to be able to spend your time on. And I think my definition of success is also not just measured by money, but it's measured by the people that are around you, how you allocate your time, and the feelings that those people give you, and also how healthy you are. Because without health, you got nothing, right? And just being around the people that you love while they're still here.
Yeah.
Right. So the part of the reason why I came back from the UAE to the United States is my grandma's 87 years old. I mean, at 87 years old, by any metric, you would be like, she's lived a full life at this point, right? 87 years old is a full life, right? Like by life expectancy measures, just by like any objective matter. Do I want her here forever? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? No, unless we have like technology that comes over the next year, so I'm able to have her as immortal. So I'm just trying to spend as much time as I can with my grandma. Shout out to her because she comments on all the TikToks. So like, right? Like, but at the end of the day, I find that success when I'm able to spend time with her. I'm able to spend time with my family. I'm able to tap into the softer sides of my soul that work doesn't necessarily bring out, because work is tough, work is demanding, work is always going to be there. There's always going to be more work, but there's not going to always necessarily be more time with my grandmother. Yeah. So what about for you?
For me, it's definitely shifted as far as, I think society has a lot to play into it as well. So, the first metrics of success is I want to have by 30 or by 25, I want to make a certain amount of money. I want to own a house. By 30, I want to be married. I want to have kids. Like those are just like, oh, okay, this is what success means to me at that age. And then now I've realized that success is very individual, and I think when people start or stop like giving a fuck what others think and like what makes you happy, that's success. And for me right now, success is just having time to be able to do what I want and to spend it how I want and to be with my loved ones. That's success to me, and I've seen other people that they measure success in different ways, and it's not necessarily, having money to do things or anything like that. It's just being rich and family and things like that. And that's cool. Like as long as you're happy and you sleep at night, that's all that matters. Because most of the times, like people that we deem as successful and all that, like a lot of times people commit suicide or they're on drugs and everything like that because they can't even sleep with themselves. Or what they did to get to a certain position isn't even aligned with their soul and all that. So yeah, so I feel like you have to define that for yourself. And for me right now, it's just being able to dictate what I do with my time, and then also like just be around, good people, genuine people that pour into me as well as I can pour into them.
Yeah, I think if you're measuring success solely on monetary value or material things, that's a quick way for you to be unhappy. Yeah. Right. And I remember being younger. Obviously, I still like nice things, right? Like I still like nice cars. I still like fine jewelry. I still like designer clothes. But my entire perspective on just the things that move me now are not necessarily entirely vetted on, I want to get the latest drip. I want to get the fastest car. I want to get the shiniest jewelry. Because although that drives me, I always feel the same thing about anything that I get that's brand new. I buy it and then I get bored of it the next day, because it was never about actually that thing. It was about the journey to get the thing, right? It's the chase of getting the thing that brings me thrill.
Yeah. To me, it's a quick high. It's a quick high. Like if you go to a luxury brand store, buy that, whatever, the sneakers that you always wanted, or a duffel bag or something like that, or some jewelry or something like that. It's like you'll get happy in that moment and like, okay, I did it. I accomplished something. But it'll quickly fade. Those material things get old, and it's like, why did I spend so much on this?
Bro, I'd be looking at my closet sometimes. I was like, the amount of money I spent on stuff that I only wore like once or twice. So like now, just like going off the beaten path, like the way I've changed between my 20s and my 30s, I'm much more intentional about my shopping now. I just don't buy impulsively anymore. I actually buy things that I want to wear because I have so much in my closet. I used to have so many things in my closet that I just didn't wear. Yeah. And that was so wasteful. Yeah. Right. And like also trying to be a little bit more conscious, not trying to like pollute, trying to do what I can to reduce my carbon emissions in the world. Right. So like it's just sort of like being much more intentional has like shaped my my perception from my 20s to my 30s.
Even now, I just had like a gut check on just the material things that I have in the UAE, where I'm like, I had to go at like the quickest notice, and I just bought the new, what is it, the Hellstar Anthony Edwards sneakers.
Oh, you posted it on IG. You took it with you?
Nah, I left it. Like,
why did you leave it?
I forgot.
You forgot?
Then I'm thinking, now that I'm playing ball, I'm like, shit. I'm like, my new sneakers is out there still. I ain't even break them in.
You can buy it here.
But I'm like, no, I got them at a great price. Now the price is up on that, and I'm not going to buy it again when I have them. So it's like, damn, when the next time I'm going to go back and get them? By the time I get them, it's going to be, that's it. It already faded. That feeling already faded. And like most of my material things are just stuck right now in the UAE.
You didn't leave anything back behind her that you're like, damn, I wish. You took everything that you cared about with you.
Yeah, I took my jewelry is like a handful that I got that's precious to me. And that's it. And then I took some clothes. I was like, what am I packing for? Winter, summer, fall.
You don't know out here.
Yeah, I didn't know. I'm about to hit up Zara real soon, So Zara, hit me up. We can get this little sponsorship going.
Get the little Zara haul by Mike.
Because I'm going to have to buy all new summer gear.
Because you didn't bring anything with you.
Not really. So, yeah.
Because you don't know how long you're going to be out here for. Yo. So why do you think, when you look back at the past, do you ever find yourself like your mind skipping the bad parts and making the good old days feel golden? Because of nostalgia? Or do you remember it exactly how you thought it would be? Like, damn, that was a really bad time in my life.
See, I think this question doesn't even apply to me, because I'm such a positive-minded person where I always look at the good. And then when I start to think, I'm like, oh, it was some bad moments. I'm like, but the bad was just a moment. But the rest was good, Right. I tend to look at things in a positive light. And even the negative things that do happen, I look at it as a lesson that needed to happen. So,
right. Yeah. I think for me, I tend to look at things. People always say, do you look at things half glass full or half glass empty? I look at things very objectively. So it's always, there's water in the cup. And my perception of how I view a situation is based upon how I'm feeling at the moment, from what angle am I perceiving that situation from, who's asking me the question in order for me to, like, why is that memory like reliving in my head, right? Like if it's somebody who may have done me dirty or didn't do me right, then maybe I wouldn't have, even though I may have been enjoying myself in that moment, that because they're simply in that memory may not be looked at favorably, right? It's like kind of scrolling through your phone and like looking at certain pictures with certain people, you're just like, that was a good time. And then other ones where you're like, so my perception on things tends to change based upon new information. Right. So it's not always going to be positive or always going to be negative.
Yeah. And then what about your relationships with various people? Do you think, has nostalgia kept you in those relationships or it kept you tethered to people because you're always thinking about the good times? So this is how they used to be.
Yeah, I've definitely stayed in relationships because I'm thinking about we've all done that, right? We've all been in relationships, whether they were platonic or romantic, whereby you stayed a little too long based upon something that happened in the first year during the honeymoon stage, right? Like, oh, it's going to go back to that. Meanwhile, you're just like, I don't think this is going to work out, right? Like if you had like actually the right mind where you're just like, I don't think this is going to work out and I should have broke up with this person a couple of years beforehand. And those are some of the mistakes. And you would think as you learn more and more about yourself and you've gone through more relationships, you tend to not do that as often. You tend to be like, okay, this is some stuff that's irreversible at this point. I can't be with this person moving forward, because the two guarantees you're going to have a relationship is that nothing's going to stay the same, right? Like, and the person in front of you is going to change.
Yeah.
Whether it's for good or for bad, you got to get prepared for that. And to be able to compare it to a time of that person that as presently constructed in front of you and comparing them to some time in the past in the relationship, especially when it's been a few years back, that's not fair. It's not comparing apples to apples, because it's a completely different scenario with a completely different person, most likely, right? And I've definitely stayed in it where I thought people were loyal to me at one point who are no longer loyal to me, who are like very selfish in the way they were giving advice, and like not just generally not being helpful, and also not being a good influence in my life because they were just into other things at the time, right? So I stayed there because I was like, damn, I've known this person for X amount of years. Amount of time does not equate quality of the time.
It does not.
Right?
Not
Like,
at all.
you could be with somebody for 15 years and it may be the most terrible 15 years you've ever had. So what about you?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we've all had relationships that we stayed in too long, whether like you said, platonic or romantic. We've had that. So I think definitely I've done that in the past, holding on to an idea or like a hope of it going back to how it used to be and things like that. And then as well as I feel like when you talk about nostalgia, we talk about, or when I reflect back on my past, I reflect on, you know, how innocent I was, or like the world was to us. And it's, you know, you kind of want to keep people around that remind you of that innocent time or remind you of how things used to be, you know? Because to be honest, like, I feel like the older we get, I'm like, man, this world is cruel, bro. Like,
I mean, we were just talking about people in relationships leaving each other like, oh, I'm out. Like, you know, I'm out. I'm leaving to a different country. I'm going to let you stay out here in this war-torn country, like, by yourself. Yeah, people are cruel, bro.
Yeah.
People are very cruel. Because naturally we're survivalists.
Yeah.
So your natural instinct is like, I got to survive. I got to preserve myself, right?
Yeah,
and it's very different to teach yourself to be like, nah, I'm here with the team. Like, I am here with the person who got me here. Yeah. Right? Like, so that's different. And did you ever feel, if you have to think about it now, I'm putting you on the spot, was there ever a relationship where it felt better in your head than it ever did in real time?
No.
All your relationships have been all your relationships have been, I find that very hard to believe.
No, all my relationships have been like, the moments that we had were great. And we stumbled into a time where I want that moment back that was great.
Right.
Like, the actual moments was really great. And then when you get into that toxic period, or when you hold on for so long, or when you stay in something too long, is because you're chasing that initial high. You're chasing that, yo, it was amazing. Why can't we just go back to that? So that's what I would say. But
Yeah.
As I still remember and I reflect, I'm like, damn, like, yo, it actually was good at a certain point. But like you said, some things never go back to being the same, you know? So,
Especially when certain things happen, right? When certain things happen, you can't unsee or unfeel some of those emotions, right?
yeah.
I mean, I've definitely had relationships that, yeah, you're chasing back. Why can't we go back to that? Like, where did we go wrong? That's where a lot of my mind, in my like all my, obviously, because when you break up with somebody, it's a failed relationship. I always think about afterwards, where did it go wrong? And I could almost always pinpoint the moment where.
Could you?
Yeah, bro. I could always pinpoint the argument because it's always with me that my feelings change.
Oh, okay.
I can sense when my feelings change.
Yeah.
That's why I'm completely upfront with the persons that I'm dealing with or the person that I'm dealing with now, because like she has to know these are the things that I care about. This is the things that I want you to understand about me. Like, I learned so much from my past relationships that now I'm able to be a lot more direct and clear. But like, look, you want this for the house to have the highest level of success. This is who I need you to be in my life. Rather than just letting things rock and letting you create your own adventure. Because what I've learned is people may not love you in the way you need to be loved. They're loving you from the perspective most likely of how they want to be loved.
Okay, yeah.
And it's up to you to pay attention. Like, oh, okay, they're acting this way because this is how they want me to act towards them, because that helps them love me better. But I need to tell them, hey, the way you're doing it is not really causing me an effect. You need to go ahead and love me this way in order for me to be able to. And it's like a backwards reciprocation, all right? Because once you love me the way I want to be loved, I'm going to love you the way you want to be loved.
Yeah.
And then we've all been in situations where you may not be getting what you want from your partner, so you maybe withhold what they need. Yeah, right? If they need reassurance, well, I'm gonna give you reassurance if you don't give me the stability or the security that I'm looking for.
That's very true.
Right? Like, it's gonna be a little bit of a petty war in that way subconsciously until you realize, like, damn, maybe I need to step back from this. This is no longer a relationship I want to be a part of. Right? Like,
so do you think that happens when I guess, did you let certain things go? Or like, I guess you didn't communicate how you initially wanted to be loved, and did you feel like you accepted it, and then that's what you're reflecting, like, oh, it was never really good.
You know, it's funny because I had this conversation the other night. I let it go because I think as a man, sometimes you don't want to come off like you're complaining too much, or like you're like sending too many. You want to be the cool dude, you know. You want to let it rock a little bit. But being a cool dude gets you in trouble, because once you let certain habits go for a while, it's hard for you to pull back and be like, I don't really like that. And she might be like, hey, like, you haven't really said anything. This is how it's always been, right? As opposed to being upfront about it within the first few months, be like, yo, I'm not okay with this, or this is the way I want you to act towards me in this particular situation, because this is how I'm going to respond the best. Does this work for you? Yeah. Right? Being the most successful people on the planet in any business are the best communicators. That even goes in relationships, right? Business is all relationships. Your friendships are all relationships. Your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever you're into, is your relationship too. Yeah. So if you can't effectively communicate in those scenarios, how are you going to be successful in a relationship? You can't read a mind. And that's another thing I learned out of my 20s. Stop. I'm not reading minds anymore. I'm not reading minds anymore. You let me know how
you can't just read your mind either.
Nah, I'm gonna let you know. Like, yo, this bothers me. Let's talk about it. Back in my 20s, you know what I used to do? Let that shit simmer for like a week. And then you're arguing about something else, and then that comes up. I'm not doing that to myself no more, man. I want to live a happy life, and I've been very good at being open and communicative and just letting the person know, hey, this is how I see things. This is the way I want to be treated. This is the way I want you to respond to me. This is the way. And similarly speaking, I want to know those things about you. So I'm able to best serve you as the partner to be here. Right. Yeah. So those are some of the things I've learned about, like, you know, just relationships in my 20s versus my 30s, in terms of, like, now I'm much more open, but that also has to do with because I'm much more confident now about my place in a relationship and what I feel like I can bring to anybody's life. Right. putting aside money and travel and stuff like that. Those things don't matter. It's like, how do I make you feel the best about yourself each day, day in and day out? And those are things that didn't click when I was in my 20s because I was too young. I was just more focused on me. I want to feel good. But if you put yourself in the back burner, put this person first, and they're a good person, they're gonna make sure that they're gonna put you first, and they're gonna put themselves in the back burner. So you're always it's like a subtle competition of like who can serve each other best.
Yeah.
Which is how it should be. That's the only type of competition I want to have.
Yeah.
All right. So
Exactly.
I feel like before, like in my past relationships, I may have been having competitions about ego. Who can get one over who's gonna break the silence.
For real.
No, I'm not saying like that's what it felt like. I'm not saying that's what I actively was going for, but that's what it felt like. It felt like, yo, why are we even talking about it? Like, let's just get to the nitty gritty. Let's just get to the conversation. Let's just understand each other. And that's another thing. Just because somebody knows you doesn't mean they understand you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I can know you, but I may not know how you work. I may not know the reason why you think the things that you think. I may not know your thoughts, your habits, your patterns. Those are all going to understand somebody because when you truly understand someone, you're going to be able to predict that person's emotions based upon the things that you say.
And you wouldn't take certain things the wrong way. Like you wouldn't take certain communications that they have as disrespect, or you'll understand where they're coming from. And you will know when they are disrespecting you, so.
Yeah.
But what's harder for you? Is it breaking up with a person or breaking up with the version of yourself that or who you were when you were with that person?
I mean, I think the easy part is breaking up with somebody else, right? Like, I think that's the easy part. The harder thing to do is to retransform yourself for the next person that comes into your life and be like, I don't want to make those same mistakes that I made. And I think that's the trap that we all fall into, right? Like, I'll just find somebody who will accept me the way I am. And then when you realize that hasn't worked 3 or 4 relationships, you're like, I don't think anybody wants to accept. Maybe it's me, right? Like maybe at some point you need to be like, it's me, it's not them.
Yeah.
Right? Like unless you had clones of this person, like everyone's kind of different. So you need to, I think they go hand in hand though. Well, I think when you break up with somebody and you leave them in the past, you're sort of breaking up with somebody who you once knew. Mm-hmm. And you need to, it's upon yourself to like really sit down with yourself and be like, what are some of the things that went right in that relationship? What are some of the things that went wrong in that relationship? And how can I transform myself into the best version of myself for tomorrow to have that future person come into my life and occupy that space? Yeah. And I think without those necessary tools and without doing the work, truly doing the work, you're never going to be successful in relationships. Yeah. You're just never going to be successful in relationships if you don't do that. Yeah. What about for you? What's
I think the hardest part is, like looking within. That's always the hardest part, because it's easy to, oh yeah, let me break up with this person. They're not suiting my needs or we're not right for each other. But yeah, doing the hard work of internally reflecting and thinking about, damn, what did I do wrong? Or how did I cause the rift in a relationship? Realizing that and like, oh, I have to change this. It gets exhausting, you be tired of yourself sometimes.
Exactly. And what do you think? And what do you think made it in your particular situation? What made it hard for you to let go? Whether it's of yourself or the person, was it loyalty, fear of change, a little bit of guilt, combination of everything?
I think a combination of everything. I think when it comes to like time, it's a combination of like, damn, but like, yo, we built so much together. Like it should be an easy fix, and a combination of like, an ideal situation, you would want it to work. You'll be like, it looks like when you just look at it on paper, you're like, oh, this should work. You would think we're both level-headed. Why can't we just make the proper adjustments to make it work? But so I think that's where the real growth happens, where it's like you can either take those lessons and then just grow from there and then see where life takes you.
All right. And once you finally moved on, how did it feel?
I mean, it's the same. Like, I'm not married with kids yet, so it's like, it's a constant. I think it's a constant evolution and a constant growth cycle. So, I think we're all kind of And then until we reach that state of nirvana where it's like, got the wife, got the kids, everything's happy. But even so, like, you know.
That's when life gets harder sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. I know some people that are married and it's like, yo, that's when things get tough. So it's important. I think now that I'm older, I feel like it's more pressure in choosing the right partner. Because you hear so many times different people that went through it as that's the most important decision of your life. Choosing who you want to marry and who you want to have kids with, who you want to build a life with. Because they can either 10x you or they can subtract, you know? So,
man, that's a tough conversation for me. Like, in terms of like, as I get older and you start accumulating more things, you start to be like, yo, like I need to be careful with who I'm at. Unfortunately, that's just the life we live. That's like, you know what I mean? That's the world we live in now. You know what I mean? That's the world we live in. It's like a boxing match. It protects yourself at all times.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things that you don't ever want to, like, we can get into the prenup conversation or cohabitation agreement conversation. Those are just tools. Like, you drive a car never wanting to get into a car accident, but when a car accident happens, you're going to be glad that you have life insurance.
Yeah.
You don't want to be caught lacking out here, right? Like, so I think, like I said, like, everyone's universally agreed on, like, the most important decision you'll make is who your partner is going to be, the mother of your kids or the father of your kids, because you're stuck with those people over the rest of your life, right? Like, so you can't take back. And I'll never understand people who just, like, willy-nilly just go into things, right? Those are some decisions that I think you should think about. When I was in my 20s, I didn't think about much about those long-term decisions the way I do now because of the sort of consequential impact they'll have on other aspects of your life. If you're with the right person who's supporting you through your endeavors, like you said, they're going to 10x you, at least 2x you.
Yeah.
But you're with the wrong person, it feels like a drain, bro.
Yeah, for real.
You start losing weight, losing your hair.
Losing energy.
And losing energy. You don't want to do nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
So you grew up pre-social media?
Man, I'm not that much. Yeah, I grew up in pre-social media. I remember the days when you have to ride a bike and have to go to your boy's crib and shout out from his window, like, come down and play. Yes, I was there.
All right. So how do you think that affected you growing up as far as, like, you know, your confidence, or how did that shape you or not shape you?
I mean, I think social media has been good generally. Let's, like, start where we're at today and then work our ways backwards. Like, I think with social media today, it's good in terms of, like, you have the access to everything in the palm of your hand. So there's really no excuse because there's no lack of information.
Yeah.
But on the flip side of that is an overload of information. Yeah. Right? So your attention span cannot stay in one place. It's like constantly shifting between things because everything's being thrown at you all at the same time, as opposed to before, where you had singular focus, not as many distractions. You had the ability to be able to talk to people like this. This is not weird. And just me seeing with, like, the younger generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, people coming up the workforce, everything's by an email now.
Yeah.
Like, everything's by an email. They don't want to pick up the phone call and just talk to you. What you could have written an email for 20 minutes could have been handled through a 2-minute phone call, legit. Right? But it's that interaction that makes them feel nervous, because they grew up in the pandemic, right? So everything was planned. There was a syllabus. You were having a screen. Now, when you're in front of somebody who's testing you on your knowledge, you don't have that same pivot. As opposed to us, the 80s and early 90s babies, I feel like we couldn't pivot pretty well because this is before ChatGPT, before Claude, before everything else that's out there. You have to actually do it the old school way, go read it, or at least read through the Cliff Notes. You have to at least read through the Cliff Notes, you know what I mean? Yeah. Even with the Cliff Notes, you had to read them. Yeah. There was no ChatGPT, give me the Cliff Notes, copy and paste, that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you still have to read the Cliff Note. Yeah. Maybe you didn't want to read the 60-page book, but it's a 10-page Cliff Note. Yeah. So I feel like now things are too automated. It's even automated the way you date. There's apps for everything the way you date now, right? There's Christian Mingle, Muslim Mingle, like, Field, whatever the hell you're into, right? Tinder, Hinge, there's like so many, Raya. Yeah. There's so many apps out there now that it's sort of automated the way you even, like, date. Like, now you go outside to the club or to the bars and people don't drink as much. It's a totally different vibe. That's the reason why wellness retreat and clubs are booming.
Yeah.
Social clubs like Soho House or other like, you know, Casa Cipriani are blowing up because people want to go to a space where they can meet people.
Yeah.
Right. In a way that doesn't involve drinking. As opposed to us when we were going out was an event.
It was like, I mean,
It
people
was an
actually danced.
it was an event. You feel me? Like it was an event. You were going with you were going clean. You were gonna smell good, and maybe you only have $40 in your pocket, but you were going out there because you either had a hella swag, you can talk, or you can dance.
Yeah.
Now people just go out. They don't even talk to each other. I've seen it.
Yeah.
They don't even talk to each other, so it's not fun.
Yeah. Man, I haven't been out in a while to like a good spot.
Were you just outside? Were you just outside this past weekend? Were you just outside?
Actually, no. Wait, was I? It was a bar. It was a bar. But now
It was like a party. It looked lit though.
No, it was lit. It was lit.
He doesn't go outside. He was just outside.
But honestly, it's more like a bar scene / lounge.
Oh, you mean like club? Like you ever been to a club?
club.
No,
I haven't been to a club.
We can't go to a club together, you and me.
Yeah. No, because you just want to just buy everything up. That's why. But yeah, I mean, I think I love it that I feel like I had best of both worlds. Like I had that, you know, pre-social media era. Was the era of, you know, just going outside, meeting people, whether it was like, you know, meeting different friends. Like I remember going to different basketball courts and hooping in different boroughs, and then that's how you got cool with different people. Or, you know, if you wanted to talk to a girl, you actually had to go up and approach a girl and get her number. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
You know? It wasn't no background checks, but let me see your social media. Man, you had to talk on the phone. That was the background check.
That was
you
like
had to pass the vibe check on the phone. Like, you know, so
no, they couldn't investigate yo. The way that people investigate your life now, bro, on social media, that's the reason why my friends are ghosts, bro. Like
no, honestly, back in the day, you had to get the old school way. If you wanted to know if somebody was out there in the
you had to make like 30 calls
on a block, on a street, and like just ask around, like, what's the facts on this? Like,
now it's at the tip of your hand. Like now it's like straight up like people have time on their hands to figure out a whole bunch of stuff. Mm-hmm. And do you feel like back in the day too, social media has made people more flaky now? Because back in the day, if you made plans with somebody when texting still cost you like $1 a text. Like you wasn't trying to text nobody all day. You know what I mean? Like you called like I'm gonna be here at 9 p.m. I'm gonna be there at 9 p.m. You know what I mean? Like you had to show up. Not like today, people be canceling on you on the way there.
Nah, I don't play that. But I be double confirming though. I be double confirming.
You be double confirming with the person. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we doing. That's it. Like, you know?
I've had somebody cancel on me like when I double confirmed and I was on the way there and they still confirmed. I was like, damn, block.
I'd be pissed. I feel like now you can't actually back out. But before you could, when there was no social media, because you could make up any excuse and nobody would know if it's valid. Because now I'm like, oh, you better not get on social media for the next 48 hours. If it's emergency.
The activity, you remember the activity? You was looking at the activity, wasn't you? You were like, oh, she just like.
Don't share your location. Like, yo, you said you was uptown, but you over here, you're in a whole nother place. Like
now Instagram has the location thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, there's like everything's just trying to just track you, bro.
Everything's transparent. So I feel like it's harder today. Like,
yeah, it's hard. Unless you like some of my
even
friends.
if you say you sick, you'll be like, yo, FaceTime me. Let me make sure you good. Let me send you some. You better look sick. You coming up, like had a tissues on your nose and like lay dead. You gotta do that.
Sounds like somebody who's acted out that scene before.
You got to.
But do you feel like, I guess we're like taking it a little bit seriously. Like, were you aware of your digital footprint when you're in your 20s? Because now nothing's deleted. Like, were you the type to like post everything back then? Like, what type?
No, you couldn't. The Wi-Fi was slow. You only had one profile picture. That was it. So to me, you couldn't. And then with MySpace, the most you had was what, your top 8?
No, you could. They expanded that into the top 24. Those were some battles with the top 8. The top 8. You're like, yo, why am I number 2?
And once you had it set where it was like you couldn't even bring on a newcomer, like, because if a newcomer, like, yeah, I'm gonna get you in, and somebody, yo, why you remove me? That's crazy. Like,
now, I was like that when that's top 8 started. I remember specifically kids in my middle school class, but like, why am I not in your top 8?
Yeah.
I didn't care if people removed me from their top 8. Like, there was one person that I cared.
Yeah,
There was one person I cared about. I made sure I was like, I gotta stay top 3, bro.
Yeah.
I gotta stay top 3.
Yeah.
Like, if you start moving to the second row, there's a problem. But when they expanded to top 28, it just watered it down. Like top 24.
I wasn't even on it for
I was like,
that's it.
yeah, and then Instagram came out, and then people started posting.
I got on that late.
You got late on Instagram?
Like 2016.
Why you lying, bro?
Not for real. If you check my joint, 2016.
Why you got on so late? So you got on it after you got to Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, like afterwards. Yeah, yeah. Because I just wasn't. It wasn't my vibe. I would just do one social media. I was on Facebook.
Facebook was your thing?
Yeah, that was it.
So you were marking yourself in a relationship, complicated with?
I used to do that. Yeah.
You used to say complicated with? And they had to accept this.
It meant something though. It meant something.
Yeah, like complicated. Yeah. Why would you even
I never did complicated. I just did in a relationship.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but like, yo, complicated with. You remember in a situation with? Like, remember that?
Yeah, I never did.
That's crazy.
I would put in a relationship with and all that, you know.
Right.
For my job, for everything.
You have any old posts that you think will haunt you one day?
Nah,
neither do I. I never put anything that was crazy like that.
Yeah, I never said anything disrespectful to anybody or any group of people. So.
I'm good.
Yeah.
But like, if you have to look back, do you feel like you should, like, you would have adopted more digital boundaries earlier? Like things that you may have not, when you were, it was so new, and then you're like, all right, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
No, honestly, I wish I would have knew. If I would have knew social media was gonna take off like this, I would have been strategic. And
from day
one, and all my social media posts, I would have became a guru, and I would have hopped on everything first. YouTube first, Instagram first, Twitter
TikTok,
first,
all that.
So I wish I would have knew, but back then it was like I didn't care about it, like
Yeah, I think some boundaries that I would have adopted earlier was not giving everybody access to my life. That I used to post everything because it was so new. What you was eating, getting ready.
But that's the thing now.
What
you draw back, and now the money is post everything.
People want to see
live, yeah.
People want to see streaming. People want to see the live, and I value privacy. So like, I struggle with this as somebody who has their own public platform. Like, people want to see more. People want to see the real. People want to see the raw. And I'm just over here like, yo, what part of my life can I keep private? Like, what part of my life can I keep private? Like, I remember there was a time where no one knew what you were doing unless you spoke to them. Now you're giving unfettered access to potentially millions, billions of users online of people you don't even know. And you have no idea what they're going to do with those clips, the things you say, your videos and stuff. You can find everything on your information online now, right?
Yeah,
people can vex you. Like, you don't want to be doxxed, right? Like, that's messed up. But I feel like now, like, I would have probably adopted being a little private earlier on, because it wouldn't have, not that it's a negative, right, to be so private, because I think now the flip side is people asking, like, what are you hiding? What do you mean, what am I hiding? I just don't want you all in my own business. I don't know you like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so now it's always like, and also social media now, because back then it used to be like, why does social media matter so much to you? Now it's like sort of like a part of your personality.
Yeah.
Like what your social media presence
But to be honest, I do find it quite strange if someone doesn't have a social media.
And then you're going to find a lot of my friends strange because they all got off of it.
Yeah.
They never were early adopters of it. They never had any social media. So how could you miss
like they're the real savages. The real savages.
I mean, you can't find them. You can't, they're like ghosts. You can't find anything on them, right?
Like, the real savages.
Like, I know people at my job who like don't have any social media at all. You cannot find anything on them, bro. Anything. You have to go like deep dive, like dark web type of stuff if you want to find anything on them. But like who's gonna go through that? You know what I mean? Like, that's messed up. So I don't know, man. Okay, so just wrapping things up. You know, we spoke about boundaries, old relationship, nostalgia, looking back, like when hindsight being 2020. If you can give yourself some advice, I know you said you left a voice note, but if you can truly give yourself some advice to your 20-year-old self, what would it be? And one habit that you'd urge a younger audience to adopt today?
Believe in yourself and just go for it. Dream big. And if you thought you dream big, dream bigger.
Yeah.
So those are the lessons I would say. Like, there's truly no limit to what you can do, and just work at it.
Yeah, and you never know who you're gonna touch with the things that you do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just having this platform, I would have never thought, I would have laughed at people if they told me I would have had a podcast or something like that. I just never saw myself as someone who wanted to be in front of a camera or get any attention, whether it's big, small, whatever. I just think that going outside of your limits and being uncomfortable with being uncomfortable is something that you should embrace fully, because that's where the growth actually happens. I know as corny as that sounds, as cliche as it sounds, it's the truth,
Yep.
right? Like, it's the truth. Like, growth lives in discomfort, and you're never going to achieve anything by sitting on the couch and doing nothing. So you always have to, the one thing I would tell myself is that I wish I would have taken more risks, right? Because as a 20-year-old, you risk, you fail. Like, you could always bounce back. Now, when you got a little something, now it's like, you got to be a little more calculated with your risk, right? But more calculation leads to probably more success, because you have experience to lean back on and be like, I shouldn't do these things because of X, Y, Z that I've been through, or at least approach it differently. And for younger people, the thing I would urge them to adopt is being more forward-facing and front-facing. Not everything could be hide behind a screen. I think that, you know, continue to develop social skills. Those are extremely important. To continue to develop, you know, the acumen and the expertise to be able to have a conversation with anybody, not just your work colleagues, but also your friends, your relationships, whatever it may be, because the art of the conversation is slowly dying.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of AI, social media, and all the things that are going on today. But those are some things that I would like just urge for young artists to do, to get better on. Yeah, man.
Right.
It's a good one, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. So stay locked in with us. Thank you for joining us this episode. Remember, we're streaming on all platforms, video, audio, at Last Flight Out Podcast, also on all your social media platforms. And you can find me across all platforms on at If Mike Was Here. And also you can find Jay at
JLubrio26 across all social media. So thanks everybody for tuning in. See you next week, same time, same place.
My life too pristine.
Man, you didn't have to do them like that, man. You didn't have to do them like that.
It was film day.
Yeah.
We gotta make a statement.
Exactly. We gotta make a statement. Last
What's
one
going
out.
on, man?
Flat out.